Newman frames this discussion with having you consider the use of symbols in our creation of a social world. Indeed, much of our interactions are based on symbols, whether it's language or other symbols conveyed visually. Symbols are the way in which we create shared meaning, and to a great extent, that's part of what makes us human, that we use such a vast array of symbols to share meaning with people face to face through the mass media or through smaller groups. Think about how we use symbols to represent things. A pink ribbon conveys breast cancer awareness. If I talk about a dog, you get a certain idea of what I'm talking about. If there's a green light as opposed to a red light, you know it's time to proceed forward. Those are basic ideas of how symbols are used. But on a deeper level, symbols are important to society because they allow for shared culture, and we must have agreed meaning in those symbols in order to have a cultural basis to draw upon. In Newman's words, symbols are powerful social constructions. They are created, modified, and used by people through their interactions with others. We concoct them and learn to agree on what they should stand for. Our lives depend on such agreement. Now, symbols themselves are socially constructed. They exist only because we agree that such a symbol should represent a certain idea. Even though they are entirely socially constructed, they can have different meanings to different subgroups, and can also evoke powerful emotional responses, even opposite responses, from one group to another. So a personal example of that was that I was with my two daughter-in-laws when a woman came in a restaurant wearing a t-shirt that had the image of the Confederate flag on it. My daughter-in-law from the North, she grew up in Milwaukee, was deeply offended, feeling that the flag conveyed the idea of slavery and racism. My daughter-in-law from the South, and she's from Texas, was offended by the Northerners' offense, and she remarked, "It's only a flag." There was a bit of a family kerfuffle over this incident. We all survived it, but I use it to illustrate that the flag can be a powerful symbol and can have different meanings to different people. One way that words create and enforce social inequalities is through verbal slurs and affronts. Every conceivable racial, ethnic, national, religious, disability, body type, gender, or sexual group has at one time or another been subjected to its own set of derogatory terms. A website called the Racial Slur Database, that's at www.rsdb.org, once listed over 2,600 racial or ethnic slurs. The meaning of the word can change with the context of how it's applied, or where, when it's used, and by whom. So Newman uses the term bitch to discuss how the use of the word over time can change. Originally a non-insulting noun meaning female dog, bitch eventually came to apply to a malicious, spiteful, and domineering woman. It eventually expanded past its ties to femaleness and became a verb, meaning to complain or grouse about something. Later on, it acquired meaning as a term for any subordinate, male or female, as in "you're my bitch." And when combined with the word slap, it became a street reference for a manner of hitting someone into submission. In some circles, bitch is used as a reference to a female partner, and it may be embraced by some women as empowering. Many contexts here with many different meanings to different people.